Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Cannoli. This week's episode, we have ourselves a fatal four-way. On this end, we have the Puttyman himself, Gamerpotheads.
What's
right
up?
below me, we have Capps making his glorious return to our show. And on the bottom corner, right under the Puttyman, we have the star of the show, Campo Reviews. Welcome, everybody.
Boo!
Boo!
He's already got heat.
What's up?
He's
I
already
like
got
it.
heat.
I want to be the heel of the show.
John's always below me. That's all I gotta say.
Sorry, I'm not.
And Putty is the X-Pac of the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I don't. I'm not aware of this. Like, I'm hearing that you guys have a name for Campos.
Oh, Pickles
No.
Tuscadero.
No, he has another name. I don't remember
Oh.
what's the name.
Campo
Buddy?
Crunch. Campo Crunch.
My name was Pickles Tuscadero,
Yeah, but I started calling you Campo Crunch.
and his name is Toronto Franco.
Toronto Franco for some reason.
Campo Crunch Berries.
Crunch berries. Don't sit on those crunch berries.
And Muscles Marinara
Muscles
coming with the
Marinara
sauce.
making his return.
And of
Stir in the
course I've got-
sauce. There he
Oh,
is.
no.
There he is.
He's embraced the character. Now we're in trouble.
Now we're in trouble. So this episode is not about wrestling.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
actually
we-
going to be going through our top 5 favorite PS1 games. A system that's very near and dear to all of our hearts. It was probably one of the consoles that kept us going in gaming, probably well into the future. It kept me going. So, flip of the dice here. Who wants to go first on this one? Oh, this guy still brought it out.
He brought out the actual
He brought it
PlayStation.
out.
No, that's a
Line.
mini. Don't get excited.
Oh, okay.
That's what she said.
That's,
That's what she said.
that's not a mini. Show us again. Pull
Oh,
your pants down.
he's got the big boy.
Take it out. Whip it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
gonna
is-
flip the whole thing over again, but I'll just give you that. How about that?
Okay.
Yes, nice.
Okay.
The
Is that
memory
proof?
card. The 4 SD
All
cards.
16 MBs of memory.
Was it 16 or 8?
I think those were 16. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I know the
but-
next one was 32.
Game
next
Shark
system.
for the win. That sucker
Game
gave
Shark.
you a lot of memory.
Action replay.
Yeah,
All right,
action
I'm going
replay. It was
first.
action replay. Yeah.
Okay, Campo, you go first.
My
Pickles?
number. Wait, do make it clockwise from you.
Well,
Clockwise for me. So I guess Caps will go first.
Okay.
So Caps, you're first.
All right. Number 5, Need for Speed 3: Hot Pursuit.
oh wow, I didn't even think about that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
The
I'll
most-
give you credit. I
Yeah.
forgot about that game.
Because I remember the Need for Speed Underground series on the PS2. Those
I
were
played
fun.
Hot
Yeah,
Pursuit
that's
on
what I was
PC.
thinking. I forgot about the Hot Pursuit.
I
Oh
played
my
Hot
God.
Pursuit on a really, 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 really old Dell computer.
Now these are like subjective. Like these are like
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
well,
this is our favorite.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's yeah. They're not the greatest games of all time. These
All
are
right, so
what
who's
we
after
enjoyed.
that
You.
on your screen?
Oh,
Me?
Pickles is next. Okay,
Pickles
go
is
ahead,
next.
Pickles.
All right, Jimmy the Pickle. My number 5 is a full Caps. Tekken 3, and Tomb Raider Part 1. I must have played Tomb Raider for hours. Originally on the demo that came with PlayStation Magazine before I even bought the game.
I remember the PlayStation
Love that.
magazine.
I had the PlayStation magazine and the Xbox magazine once that
Yeah.
started coming out
Tekken 3,
later.
we played that forever. It was our number 1 fighting game.
Yeah,
on the
Tekken
system.
3 was a stellar game.
I had a binder of demos everywhere.
I still got all my Xbox demos.
Oh my god, that's amazing! There you go.
PlayStation
Right, there you
magazine,
go
man.
with the win, and that's oh my god, that's one of the games. Oh my god, I'm not.
There
We
it is.
shouldn't have brought him on this episode. Why did we bring him?
All right.
What I'm
Puttyman,
talking about.
what's
Okay.
yours?
So my number 5 is the tie. It is Parappa the Rapper and Spider-Man.
Yeah, Neversoft Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Right,
That
Neversoft.
game was amazing.
That
Yes.
was Stan Lee at the beginning of that game. Welcome, true believers.
I love it.
So my number 5, believe it or not, is the same as yours, Putty. It's Parappa the Rapper.
I love that game. Oh my
That
god,
ga-
I love that game.
That game was, to me, that game was so overlooked, but it was so much fun.
Yes.
Hours and hours of it was, I don't know. It's just, it was Guitar Hero before Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you've never played it, if you've played that but love it, go play Jamalami too. That's an amazing game.
Yeah.
as well.
Jamalami is good.
Yeah. Guitaru Man.
Was Parappa the Rapper like the first of its kind?
I think
Like,
it was
kind
it was
of,
a
yeah.
rhythm game.
I think there was rhythm games before, but they were like Japan exclusives.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they like DDR didn't even exist when Parappa the Rapper first came out.
No.
So, yeah.
And it was hard.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, but
towards
I
the
love
That
end,
thing was hard, man.
that final battle was all I remember is that
Is it the onion guy?
the onion guy, but I remember the other one, the sensei, in the rain or in the snow. I got the funky flow, but now I really gotta go. Or the chicken,
The fact that you remember that
the
is
egg
crazy.
into the bowl. Crack, the egg into the bowl.
All right, well, now that I feel a lot stupider, who's next?
We got the captain once again. Muscles, number 4.
Oh, is it me? Okay, well,
Yep.
I definitely caps this one.
He did it!
He did it. We finally got one out of him.
Tekken 3 and this sucker right here.
Tekken
Warzone.
3!
Ooh. Warzone wasn't battering like that. It's just everything. I definitely, yeah.
Warzone.
Yeah,
Like,
okay,
I
well,
know,
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
a lot of people hated it, but like
It's
it's
subjective.
just cool. It
Yeah,
was
exactly.
You spent all your hours in that.
yeah, like I think it was one of the first games where you could play like 4 people at the same time
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
It was with the the
Yeah.
multi-tap. I had the multi-tap and I loved it.
on PlayStation. So yeah.
No, that was definitely a good choice. Campo.
Okay, in typical Campo fashion, I've done it again. Gran Turismo 2 and Grand Theft Auto 2. I actually when I got the PlayStation, I got money for my birthday, and for anyone who doesn't know, so PlayStation games were far cheaper than Nintendo 64. Like I could buy 3 games for the price of one.
They were $49.99 in Canada, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
So I would hit up this little video game store down the street from my house. It was High Tech. Doesn't
High
exist
tech,
anymore.
yes, next to the Blockbuster.
And with my birthday money, I bought Warzone, Grand Theft Auto 2, and I think Tekken 3. And I played Grand Theft Auto 2. Like, I played it until it broke. Like, my disc is destroyed.
Yeah.
And all I ever did was steal cars and drive them to the dock and sell them. I never actually did any of the missions.
You never did anything. But but I guess in context here, we got to explain too. Grand Theft Auto 2 is not what people know as Grand Theft Auto, like the new series. Like it was a top-down shooter, very similar. It was very similar to, I don't know if anybody's ever played Hotline Miami.
Yes.
It's Pokemon, but with guns.
Okay, that works too. Pokemon with guns. Instead of catching them, you're killing them. I find it.
Gran Turismo 2 changed the entire game for simulation racing.
I still literally have my copy of Grand Theft Auto 1, but it's the greatest hits one with the green band on the side. But I still have it with the manual and everything for PlayStation 1.
All right, Puttyman.
All right, my number 4 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Jesus, did you steal my list?
Right?
Oh, you're both wrong. That's the problem.
I love that game. Tony Hawk was amazing. Tony Hawk 1 was good, but when Tony Hawk 2 came out, it broke the mold, bro. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like everything I feel like was like trying to see if it can be as good as Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 in my eyes.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, in that pre-story Tony Hawk 2 was still the best one.
I agree.
Like I really enjoyed Tony Hawk's Underground, but I think Pro Skater 2 it was so good that they remade 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Which I played to this day on my PC.
I have it on my PS5. I actually got the upgrade version of it too.
So I'm not even going to bother with my number 4 because it's the same thing. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Nice.
So it's the same thing. Played that game to no end. I was really into skateboarding when that game came out. I was already into, like, I was skateboarding at the time, and when it came out, I was like, all right, it's a skateboarding game. I don't have to do it outside now. I can do it inside. So I wasn't very good at it at either real life or the Tony Hawk, but hey, I loved it to no end.
I was good at the Tony Hawk one. I tried skateboarding one time and broke my ass and said, you know what, I'm gonna stick with the video game.
I wasn't good at the outside one, but I was probably like competition level good at Tony Hawk.
You know where I used to go?
Beat Putty any day.
Campo, you know where I used to go? I used to go to the thing at Wallace there by Galleria.
When they used to have the ramps in it?
When they used to have the ramps there, yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about there. All right, Caps, you're number 3, my man.
The last 3 are not caps, by the way, so just letting you know.
Mine neither.
Neither are mine.
Mine either.
These ones I hold very dear to my heart. Number 3 is Silent Hill.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me. But then, like when you play it like now, it's like, well, these graphics are horrible. But
yeah, but still, those endings.
It sets the mood, man. Like it just, yeah.
Yeah, the air of that game, just like it was dark and like Yeah,
Very
it was.
dark.
I'll say it now because we're gonna get into it later. But that was a toss up between Parappa and Silent Hill. It's my number one honorable mention, but it didn't quite make the list.
Well,
yeah,
let's-
it's a strong for me. I have strong memories with that too. I remember in '99 I went to Italy, and my cousin and we were up to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning just trying to, because he couldn't read in English, so I'm reading all the things for him, and he's trying to solve the puzzles. But yeah.
Well, let's just say we're going to be coming back to it later.
Yeah.
I do
Just
gotta,
say we definitely won't.
I do gotta say one thing though, like
Yeah.
before Pickles goes.
Sure. Pickles.
Like, I would play the game and I would think to myself, whoever made this game has to be one twisted MFer.
Yes.
And I
Completely.
wanted to be friends with him. That's the thing.
Like Jesus, like
those
and this is
creepy mannequin nurse things, like
I'm one of those things. If you can scare me to the point of where I'm checking my closet door and everything, you made a good game in my eyes. But we will get back
That's
to
good
it.
because we'll get to another point later on where I have like a different type of scary game.
It's probably one of the ones in my honorable mention that I couldn't decide between that. So,
But
all right.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you, bud.
Okay,
Number
so
3.
this one was hard because I wouldn't say I ever completed this game. I definitely didn't. But the first time I ever played a PlayStation, I played it. It has like some of the most iconic, memorable characters of all time, and I never ever could stop. Whenever I was able to play it, I would play it. It's Final Fantasy VII, and
Yes.
I didn't have that much of an attachment to it, but it's still to the point where it's like I couldn't not play it. Like it was so like eye catching for at the time. Those graphics were amazing. The video graphics when it went into the
Full
cutscenes,
FMVs,
oh my
yeah.
gosh! And Cloud with the sword was just like the coolest thing ever. And you have to remember at the time I was like 9, so.
well, I'll be honest with you. Every single Final Fantasy in my eyes on PlayStation 1 was amazing. I'll be honest with you. That's just how I was. But we'll get to that
Agreed.
even later.
So that's mine.
There you go, buddy.
My number 3 is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I don't know if I need to explain it, but it's just like one of the best Castlevanias ever, and I was addicted to it. It was crack. So not, but except for the last 2 games, of course. But yeah.
Well, the less we say about those, the better. Which one? We mentioned Castlevania in our Genesis episode as well, haven't we?
Yeah, and Super Nintendo.
Yeah. So Castlevania always keeps making that appearance. It seems like.
It's one of those games that you grew up on the NES first playing, and as it grew, it even if they didn't do as well, they were still good games no matter what.
It's crazy for how massive
Until
of
it
an
got to
IP it
N64.
is, and how many good games have come out from that IP compared to bad ones, and they're not making them anymore.
Now, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say the only problem is when they jumped into the 3D world is when they really started screwing up. When they got to N64, that's the reason why the PlayStation one was such a god-given, because it was like they stuck with the side scrolling and like improved upon
Most
what they already
PlayStation
done.
games did try to stick with side scrolling though.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's amazing. Like that's already 2 games now that we've mentioned that started on Nintendo that migrated over to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
There's
Final
a lot
Fantasy.
more.
Yeah, there are a lot
all
more.
day.
For me, my number 3 is Driver, the first Driver.
Oh, that's in. Yep.
That
That's a
was
good choice.
that was GTA 3 before GTA 3.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get past that first tutorial level where you had to do all those basically stunts in the parking lot, which were a pain in the ass.
My god, like worst tutorial ever, to be honest with
But
you.
the
I
thing
still did
is,
it.
I was able to do that tutorial was so easy for me. I was able to do it. Like I never had an issue with that tutorial. So Driver was another one that it was as much as because I love the GTA series now. A while back, I just posted a video on the new DLC that they just dropped on online for the Tuners DLC. I explored some of that. So for me, I've always loved the GTA series, and Driver, I think, was that first step into that GTA in the 3D realm era. So, Caps, you're number 2, my friend.
Such a fan of this game. Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so much fun to play.
It was.
Yeah. To this day, I still think that's probably the best Metal Gear Solid in the series.
No, what a story! Like, what a fantastic story.
The thing is,
Sorry.
yeah, no, whatever. It doesn't matter. What I find now with the Metal Gear series is the further it went on, the more convoluted it got. It stopped making sense.
It didn't help that they got to a point where they made you so excited for a game, and then you bought it and found out that you had to play as a guy who wasn't Snake.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Same thing happened with my number one, but I'll say that with that story.
All right, so the right answer at number 2 is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, the greatest sports game of the entire generation of systems. It's the best skateboarding game ever made. I'm not going to let anybody argue that. The remake was just as good, and you should play it. But
that's all that needs to be said about THPS. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so this is going to cause some controversies because the two games prior to this are more loved by people, but this one reminded me of the old school ones, and that's Final Fantasy IX. I liked it better than the 7 and 8, and it was just the visuals reminded me so much of the old games, but it was just there was something that appealed to me more about it. You know what I mean? Like that was like all the other Final Fantasy games, 7 to 8. I always stuck with the character's names, Cloud. This was one of those games where I was like, it felt like it was more nurturing for me. So definitely had to put it as number 2, Final Fantasy, and I love it. It would have got number 1 if it wasn't for number 1. So
you almost said it.
Yeah, right.
Final Fantasy IX, you're right. It was that throwback to that, I guess, medieval knights type of action. Like 7 and 8 were very much, even 6 to a certain point, had that steampunk sci-fi elements to it. Whereas 9 just went back. They even brought Vivi, the Black Mage, back.
Yes,
right?
And that was my favorite character of all. Like when I was naming characters, I named that one Putty. Like that was my favorite one just because I had to.
Even though you look more like Steiner.
He looks like Flipty Goop from He-Man.
Orko.
Like Orko, yeah. That might be. Did we just have that conversation? So it's like that. You see why it appeals to me?
He's like confused. Caps is confused here. Yeah, Flipty Goop. I like that one.
Kind of know something. Sorry.
But my number 2 was already said is Activision Neversoft Spider-Man. Like probably until Arkham series came out for the Xbox / PS3, that is the best superhero game I have ever played. All the character cameos that you have in there, what you could do in that game with the debug menu, you can actually bring in the Submariner.
Yeah, and the outfits too. Oh my god, the outfits!
So many. You had your Bagman outfit in that one, Putty.
I know. That was the. Why do you think it got on my list? Because I was like, it was the first time we ever got Bagman.
The Bagman
in a video game. I was like, okay, I'm set. This is the best.
There was one thing you can do after you finish the game that I don't know if you guys remember. There was that one level where you're traveling in a tunnel underwater, and you can actually see the Beatles' Yellow Submarine there. So I thought that was kind of cool. So Spider-Man is my number 2. So your number 1, Muscles.
Campos, do you want to take a guess?
WWF.
No.
Resident
Evil 2. Nice.
Oh, your last one. I should have guessed it just from the last one.
Yeah.
To this day, it's one of my favorite games I've ever played.
It's a game that I love, but it's also a game that when I look back at it, I'm like, how did we ever play this game? Like, it's so impossible to control. Like, I don't know
tank controls.
Oh my god. I don't know how anyone played that game, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
This is one of my favorite games I've ever played.
That's the second one is the one where they introduced that lizard thing with the long tongue, right?
No,
but I thought that was in the first one too.
Yeah, he was in the first one. The second
one has Mr. X.
Yeah. But I just remember, like, I think it was the opening scene, though, of Resident Evil 2 when you're walking down that hallway and that thing just jumps out of you from the window. Was it one of the dogs or was it?
I think it's a dog.
It was one of the hounds, right? That just jumps through the window. And I remember, like, I was playing alone one night in the basement by myself. My parents had gone out, so I'm supposed to babysit my siblings. They're in bed, and I'm downstairs in the basement playing Resident Evil. I yelled so loud because it scared the shit out of me that I woke everybody in the house.
The Crows did that too.
Yeah. The Crows were scary as well.
You should play the remake, Caps. You would love it.
Yeah,
you would.
I am playing the remake.
On what platform?
What?
On what platform are you playing it on?
Yeah, I can't say enough about that game. It's still one of my favorite games I've ever played.
Yeah, and even the
It's
remake.
two
The
discs,
remake is
too.
fantastic. Which one?
Yeah,
Sorry?
it was. I just remember it was 2 discs. You could play one as Leon, the other one as Claire.
Claire, that's
So
right.
it was just
As opposed to the first one where it was Jill and Chris.
yeah.
All right, Campo.
Well, I'm very happy with my number one because I know not only is it the only one that's going to be on anyone's list, but it's also a game that none of you probably have ever played or even know about or definitely have on your honorable mentions. That is Jackie Chan Stuntmaster, the greatest game of
Really?
all time.
I totally forgot that a game existed, but that was a good game, actually.
It's so unbelievably good for the
Yes.
time when it came out, and it handled platforming so well. Like, to control wise, for a game that was a platformer, but that also had the 3D element, like that you could like leave the platform and like come around
And rotate. Yeah.
The ability to move in it was like nothing else.
It had
like,
that depth perception too.
yeah, and you had huge games like Resident Evil and stuff that with all the money that they had behind it couldn't even make like handling like that as a cheap game.
Who developed that game?
I don't even remember. Listen, this is a game that I've been trying to get a copy of for the last like 7 years, and they are expensive.
Yeah, it ain't cheap. I gotta rustle through my collection, see if I still have one.
I have the burned one from Chinatown where I got it.
Yeah, that's the thing about the PlayStation 1. It was so easy to mod that thing.
Oh yeah. When you figure out that how easy it was, like I regret paying $100 to get it done when I did it.
I did it myself.
Yeah, you just friggin' one touch it and it's
Yeah,
good to
exactly.
The
Buddy.
one touch.
Okay, so for people that know me, this will not be a surprise, and it's already been named on someone's list. My number one is Silent Hill. Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4. All 4 of those games, I got every single ending, all 5 endings to every single game. And when that game first came out, I played Resident Evil. I loved both Resident Evil games. I still love them. But what was so different about it was like the thing is, Resident Evil is a great game, and there are things that jump out at you. But to scare me is not the jump factor; it's the atmospheric level. You know what I mean? Like you were saying earlier, being in those areas where it's fog and you don't know what's going to be there. You know what I mean? Seeing something twitch in the corner, like they were so good at doing those kind of things where you don't know what you're going to see around the corner. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like it jumped out at you at times. It was just more of like, oh God, is it going to jump out at me? And it may not do it, but. I got every single ending. Every single time one of those games came out, I had to get the secret ending, the dog ending, the alien ending, depending on which game it is. I love the dog ending. But it was just everything about that game. And I still, to this day, that's the reason why I still will never ever delete PT off my thing, just because of that love for Silent Hill. You know what I mean? They have made some bad games after The Room, but you know what? 1 through 4. By far, and this all started it. Silent Hill, number 1.
Silent Hill. What I want to touch on that too was the whole reason for the fog was because they didn't have the processing power but they used it to their effect so well that like it worked, right? The volumetric fog.
And see, when we're me and Nikki at RRG, we try to make like scary levels for Fortnite, and I still always bring up to this day, dude, we should make the road break at the end so they have nowhere to go. I always use that theme because it was just so scary to think about. I'm trapped here. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm trapped here even when I'm outdoors, because you feel like when you're outdoors you have more room to run, but no. Yeah.
You definitely also remind me of Pyramid Head. So
I'll take that as a compliment, okay, sir?
Pyramid Head. So my number 1, for people who know me, know I love my RPGs, know I love my JRPGs. So my number 1 is Final Fantasy VII. That is the game that I specifically bought my PS1 for, because I was a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I had 1, 2, 3, 6, as we called it in that episode. I played them all, and when I saw that 7 was going to be a PlayStation 1 exclusive, I went out and I got myself a PlayStation just to play Final Fantasy VII. To this day, I still have my save file with over 260 hours because I maxed out every single materia in that game.
Dang.
Yeah. So to me, that's why Final Fantasy VII is my number 1. And, departure from all the others, it didn't have that medieval fantasy style. It was more of a steampunk, futuristic sci-fi type of setting. So without a doubt, for me, Final Fantasy VII is my number 1.
Well, you're right. That's actually that's the reason why I bought PlayStation 1 as well. When I heard it was coming out on that and I saw the visuals on it, I said, I got to have this, Yeah. I mean, again, even though I didn't put it, it's in my honorable mentions, but yeah, I agree. It's what drew me in for the PlayStation 1 100%, So I'm glad you picked that.
All right. Shall we open the floor up to discussions and some honorable mentions?
All right,
now?
perfect. That's good. I'll do it right away.
Campbell's ready for it.
I have two. I'll do one really quickly because you guys were talking about the horror games, and to us as kids, the game that we played that scared us so badly, it was Dino Crisis.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was so like the way that they just came out at you was like a new level of jump scare. Like it took everything that they did in Resident Evil and it like times it by 5, but it was dinosaurs and it shouldn't have been scary, but it was so freaking scary.
It's the same company. It's Capcom, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's all Capcom, man.
It's literally basically the same system as Resident Evil. It was all basically using even the same engine and everything, which it was still a great game.
Like Resident Evil had the jump scares, but I never really found it scary. Silent Hill I found a lot scarier than Resident Evil. But I had all like every game you guys said was basically all my honorable mentions. The one I really wanted to shout out that my list at the beginning was all ties and it was all number 2s, not doo-doos, like the number 2, Twisted Metal 2.
Yes, I see. I've got that in my honorable mention. Yeah. And see, if you don't mind, I do want to mention the horror thing. I put for my Resident Evil game, my favorite is actually Resident Evil Director's Cut that I got on there. But as far as like what was like kind of equal for me for Silent Hill, or at least I almost wanted to put on the list, was either one of the, or I would have put it on the same Parasite Eve 1 and 2.
Yes.
Like I love Parasite Eve, but of course Silent Hill in my eyes was much better than that, but I still loved it because of the psychological horror of that game. You know what I mean? That's the reason I love Amnesia to this day. You know what I mean? Because of what Parasite Eve does. I'm a horror game buff, but they're not that popular. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. But yeah, so that's in my honorable mentions. Those are the 2 horror ones. But I do, like you said, Dino Crisis. When that T-Rex came in through that window, my God, that was amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
That was so good. On mine too, I have Persona 2 on my honorable mentions as well. I've always loved the Danganronpa and Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series, so it's all part of that universe. And Persona 2 was actually my introduction into that series. So the only thing is, it just takes way too long. There's just too much to do.
Then the last one that came out, Persona 5?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got the complete version, whatever it's called.
The Royal Edition, right?
Oh my God, dude. Like I love it, but it's so time consuming just to like go through a day in his life of like clicking yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Do you want to do your homework? Do you want to go to school?
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like it's literally a student simulator with elements of RPGs in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to mention Persona 2 in there. That was one of my honorable mentions. Most of my honorable mentions were most of the stuff you guys have already mentioned.
But I got a lot that you guys didn't mention.
I got a few.
I do want to say this one, if you don't mind, since Cap, since you actually brought WWF, I loved SmackDown Know Your Role.
All right, well, I'll delete that off my list. Thank you.
Yeah, that was on my honorable list. That was my favorite wrestling game on PlayStation 1. I don't know why, but I just loved the way it reminded me of because honestly, at that time period of years later, when the Xbox came out, I started playing my wrestling games more on Xbox because of the customization options with music, so on and so forth. But I don't know.
WCW Backstage Assault.
Exactly. and so it's that was like probably in my eyes the last great wrestling game that I liked on PlayStation 1. You know what I mean? So, and there's other games too, but that's my wrestling.
I just enjoyed like a lot of the PlayStation games. Like they were just so cool and innovative. Like there was just like
there was so
a whole
many.
new level compared to like Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Like you want to talk about 3D platformers? You have the Spyro series. You have the
on my
Crash.
list.
Yeah,
those are the next 2 things I was gonna say. So we might as well just talk about it now. Spyro and Crash are both like pretty revolutionary because Spyro basically just copied what Mario 64 did, but like applied it in a new way. And then Crash was like the most insanely hard platformer that you could only go straight, and it was so hard.
But God, were they so much fun? To this day, Crash 2 is still one of my favorite. Like, I'll still go back to that one because I got the Insane Trilogy for my Xbox One, and Crash 2 is the one I go back to the most.
Crash 2 is the best one.
Yep.
Yeah. And there was Crash Team Racing.
Crash
Oh,
2
yes,
Racing was
yep.
good.
If you guys don't mind, the one thing I also want to bring up, we talked about PlayStation.
Yes, we
1,
mind.
Okay, well, we were talking about scary games, but also I want to talk about the atmosphere of dark games, because I got two on here that I want to bring and no one brought up, was Legacy of Kain and Oddworld Abe's Odyssey.
Stop stealing my games.
Those two games were amazing. The visuals on both of those games were so great, and it's like I don't even feel like what was so great about that is, like, you know, Sega and Nintendo had the war where Sega always seemed to feel like it was a little bit darker than Nintendo would be. Well, like, PlayStation came out and said, no, we could do it better. You know what I mean? And like just came out and blew it out of the water.
You named those two games, so I wanted to add a game to your list because I can't even believe you didn't say it. It's Medieval.
Oh, yeah. See, now Medieval,
Medieval.
it is a dark mixture one. I totally forgot about it, to be honest with you. I actually
Wasn't that on the
forgot.
PSP as
Those are
well?
rules. Yeah, they did a remake of it now on PS4, and it's apparently amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
There was, like I said, I remember it on the PSP too.
And then no one even mentioned Chrono Cross?
No, I didn't because I never played it.
Chrono
Ooh, I'm
Cross
sure you
left
played
a
it, yeah.
bad taste. It was good, but it did not compare to Chrono Trigger.
Well, no, I get it, but I still loved it and everything. I just had to throw. That's why it ended up in honorable mention.
Caps, do you have any games?
I was just waiting for you guys, man, because there's just so many games. I
But
can
he
go
said,
on.
hold on one more and name 15 games in a row.
I know. I'm sorry. I got excited.
Dude, I'm gonna go on like a rant, right? Like, I'm just gonna like name like a bunch
Go
of
for
games.
it, man.
Gran Turismo 2, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Resident Evil 3, Tomb Raider, Parappa the Rapper, Tekken 3.
He
I
named
got Hot
every
Shots,
game we just said.
Hot Shots
Yeah.
Golf.
Hot
Like,
Shots
Yes.
Golf.
Oh, I forgot about Hot Shots. It was like the best.
Yes.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
I
that's
got-
your best one.
NASCAR
Hubert
99.
was always my
like,
caddy.
Just friggin' like NHL 97. Yo, Campos, do you remember
No.
NHL 97? There was an actual cheat in 97.
No, I don't remember there being a cheat.
You can actually score every single time if you do it this way. You remember,
Oh, the wraparound goal.
No. Do you remember
No,
the goal, the Eiserman goal, the slap shot against St. Louis?
No.
That ended the playoff series. It just hit the top corner. It's
So
like
when you come in, you just take a shot?
You take a slap shot from the blue line and you just aim it for the blocker side corner, and it goes in every single time. It's just pretty much
The best hockey game for PlayStation was, I think it was 99. It was the Owen Nolan was on the cover on San Jose.
No, that was Lindros, I think, on 99.
So then 2000 it was. It has Owen Nolan on San Jose on the cover. No,
Yes.
Lindros was 98.
Lindros was 98?
Yeah. Whatever, either way. It's...
Putty's looking it up.
No, I'm just like, I'll just tell me when you guys are done. You know, man.
But I mean,
NHL
just like
isn't front
sports
way,
game in general, like when they went into 3D, like the Madden series, the NHL series, like wasn't there also a EA Fight Night on that one as well on PlayStation 1, or was that
was
on
PS2? That was PS2.
Okay.
The Fight Night game, sir, because I love the Fight Night games.
Yeah,
So, but that was PS2.
I had one really obscure game. I've always been a fan of the Muppets, so they made a Muppets racing game. Muppet Race Mania was called, and I played that game to no end because look it up. It was called Muppet Race Mania. It was Mario Kart with Muppets.
Never heard of that.
Yes, and I played that one to no end only because I wanted to race as Kermit the Frog all the time.
Okay. Well, yeah, I never heard of it, and now I'm going to have to look it up, and I don't like you.
Well, while he's looking up, I'll say that I only have 3 more left, and 2 of you
good,
guys
I have
already
15.
mentioned. Two of you guys already mentioned was Metal Gear Solid and Twisted Metal 2, but then the other one for me was Marvel vs. Capcom, the original MBC. Sorry.
Yeah,
So,
it was
that's
better on Dreamcast.
Well, no, I agree. But I mean, the thing is that I got that before. That's gonna be the because I to this day say I still repeat it. Dreamcast #1 on my list forever and ever when it comes to console.
Yeah, I agree. Sega was very bad. I agree.
I don't give a shit. Dreamcast was ahead of its time, and we will fight.
Dreamcast was the best system of the generation. Okay.
Dreamcast is the best system of it's ahead. I'm gonna
PC
stop.
Master Race.
Okay, do you have any more caps?
Go for it.
Oh man, I can go on. Go ahead. You guys can like.
Well, okay, so I'll give you some ones that I like. Glover.
Glover.
Oh my god, I
No one's
forgot.
even to drop a Glover out
I
here.
always,
Like,
you know what's funny?
Glover?
I didn't know those were eyes. I just thought it was those lines that you see on Mickey Mouse gloves, and I was like, wait, those are his eyes? I never, when I played it, I always thought it was Mickey Mouse gloves because I didn't know
learning.
those were his eyes.
Oh, put him.
Yeah, it looks like Mickey Mouse's gloves. You know what I mean?
The greatest game of all time, Razor Scooter. Listen, that was I broke that. I played that until it broke.
What was that snowboarding game? Or was the snowboarding? There was a snowboarding game.
1080.
That was on.
No, not
1080
1080.
was on 64.
No, I'm gonna look it up real quick. There was a snowboarding game I loved on there. They made like 3 of them. Hold on.
SSX.
SSX.
No, I guarantee you when you hear it, you're like, what? You might not have played it, but I loved it.
It's gonna be like Snowbilly's Downhill Racers Part 2.
Well, here's
Anyways.
some that were never mentioned. Here's that.
Here it is.
WCW
Cool
Night
Borders.
Yeah, that was on my list. Thanks for ruining it. Now I gotta delete it. That was
Yeah.
on my list too. Thanks for ringing me
Cool
out.
Cool Borders. I do. Yes,
No one plays
NASCAR 99.
NASCAR.
There's that.
NASCAR 99. 4 was not that
Whoa.
good. I preferred the trilogy. MK
Yeah.
trilogy.
All right,
on
Putty,
there.
what the hell's it called?
But a lot of people didn't like 4 because it was 3D, right?
It's called back spin, back turn. Turn.
Well, and Johnny Donuts over here already heard me, but it's Cool
Do the
Borders.
whole-
They made like 4 of
Cool
them.
Borders.
Oh,
I remember
Cool
Cool
Borders.
Borders.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
love
remember Cool Borders.
That was such a great game. I know SSX was better, but Cool Borders came out first, and it was just so appealing because it felt like it was the Tony Hawk version of snowboarding they were getting. You know what I mean? So
All right,
I
that
loved
was
Now
that
everybody
was a
shut
thing
up.
back then too.
it. Yeah.
Spyro the Dragon, man. Like,
We just talked about Spyro. Where were you?
yeah, man.
he was in another world.
All
I
right.
was in another world for a second there.
Back to games that I looked for my entire life and finally got a copy of the actual game because I had it burned, Wu-Tang Shaolin style.
You mean Thrill Kill?
I don't know what that means. Dave Mira BMX,
God.
Matt
Yes.
Hoffman Pro BMX.
Do your
two of my
homework and
favorite
look up
games.
Thrill Kill and find out. You'll
Yeah,
know
I'll
why.
call you when I see you. Sammy Sofa Softball Slava, which is
Yeah,
Sammy
you
Sosa
Slava,
Softball
go-
Slam,
go-
the
go
greatest
look up
softball
Thrill
game.
Kill.
High Heat.
Street Fighter Alpha 2. Rayman.
Okay, you got
Rayman.
Street Fighter
Rayman.
Alpha 3.
I'll give you
Street Fighter
Rayman.
Alpha 3.
I'll give you
Duke Nukem,
Rayman.
time to
Well, that's
kill.
what I said. Alpha 3.
I thought you said 2. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, maybe I did. Need for Speed High Stakes.
Okay. Hot
X-Men
Pursuit's still
Mutant
better.
Academy.
Oh, I hate you. I forgot about that one.
Guess what else you forgot? The Hulk, the Pantheon Saga.
I
One of
actually
the
didn't like
best-
that that much.
That's one of the best games of that era for superheroes.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
free
It was
roam
good,
Hulk
but-
game.
Duke
Ultimate-
Nukem,
No,
time
there
to
was a
kill.
better Hulk game later. What was that? I
Duke
can't remember.
Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
Duke
Yeah.
Nukem.
Duke
I
Nukem.
want me just to name all the rest of the games I own. Mission Impossible. All the James Bond games were good.
Yes.
James Bond Racing.
James
007
Bond
Racing.
007, right? I didn't even know that one. It's almost
I'll
as
show-
obscure as my Muppets Racing.
I have it at home. I'll send you a picture.
Oh my god! I just thought of one. Legend of Dragoon.
I'll allow
Yes.
Yeah,
Legend of
how do we
Dragoon.
not remember that one? I totally
Another
just remember-
4-disc epic RPG.
Yeah. It was like I feel like it was the Final Fantasy and Legend of Dragoon were the 2 games that you got like 4 discs. That was it.
Yeah. I know with the PlayStation 1, because it had the power, you can get those long RPG games on there, but it had a lot of fun games. Go ahead.
I apologize ahead of time if you guys
Yeah.
mentioned it. What was the ninja one?
Shinobi.
Ninja
That was-
Gaiden.
No.
Oh, that was
no.
on
I know
Started
what
with
he's
a
talking
T, I
about.
think.
Yeah, Tenchu.
Tenchu or something.
Tenchu?
No, isn't that on
Tension.
Dreamcast?
Tension?
That was PlayStation, buddy. That was PlayStation. I remember because I
Wait,
had
was it the Brave
similarities
Spencer
with-
Muashi one?
No.
No.
I know.
I just
Musashi-
remember like when he was trying to be stealth, like it had similarities with Metal Gear, like when he would like. lean
Yes,
up
because
against
it's
the wall.
developed by the same. It's a Konami game. I remember that.
I got one for you.
Tenchu Warrior, maybe.
Tenchu, I think. You're right. Tenchu. Yeah.
I got one for you, Pepsi Man. I'm kidding.
Pepsi Man.
Wow. I got one for you, Gex. Enter the Gecko.
Yeah, but Gex, I think I played that on the 3DO. I think that was the first time I ever played that
Bubsy.
one. Yeah. Oh, Bubsy. Oh, no.
Bubsy.
Bubsy 3D was
We did
horrible.
Sega and we didn't even mention Bubsy.
You're
Or
right.
James
Well, that's-
Pond.
Oh, my God.
How did I've actually never played this, but like, how did it measure up to the first one, Tomb Raider 2?
Tomb Raider 2 is better than the first one.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
Agreed.
That's
But
why
have you
it's on
guys,
my
have you
list.
have you guys
Oh,
actually
no, wait, I
tried to
said
go
Tomb
back
Raider
and
1.
play those
Yeah, you said
games?
Tomb Raider
Oh
1.
my God, they're horrible now.
Yeah.
It's because they're stuck to the whole sidestep move. because you didn't have the analog sticks.
See,
It's so hard to play now.
Whereas me, the Tomb Raider games were not on my PS list because I had them on the Sega Saturn, so they're just associated to Sega Saturn.
And I think that's another reason why, like, even with the Resident Evil, I remember playing those in that direction as well.
But with Tomb Raider 2, though, there was the cheat code where you can make Laura nude, but if you put it in, she would explode. No, she would explode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, yeah, I know that, but I'm saying that it was still bull. Like, I was the one that fell for it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I can't wait to see your
polygonal.
I can't wait to see your pylons, literal pylons.
Oh, it's just hilarious.
No, but
if you want to kill you, like, I don't want to say those words. If you want to have a really bad time that might involve you breaking your system, just go to the cave and try to shoot the bats. For anybody who's watching this, just go try to kill bats in Tomb Raider.
No.
Wasn't it Tomb Raider 2 where the one where she's like, you try to see her and she's like, like when she's in her mansion?
You're
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I never tried that.
Yeah, okay. I'm pervert.
Of course, I never played. I never actually
Jurassic
played this game,
Park
so I have.
Dennis Nedry.
You know what? Jurassic Park on the Sega Genesis. Going back to that Genesis episode.
I mentioned that. I think.
Yeah, it was so good. That was.
Let's put it this way: I was the guy that got the achievement on Lollipop Chainsaw. That's all I'm going to say.
Lollipop Chainsaw.
James Gunn. Did you know that?
Really?
James Gunn did Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I actually heard that, but I didn't memorize it.
I think he wrote the story and was like the director of the game.
Wow.
It shows.
Yeah, he definitely is a Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yes, he is. Michael Rosenbaum was the severed head.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're talking about Lex Luthor himself.
Lex Luthor himself, Michael Rosenbaum.
Have you never played that game? That game is amazing.
No, it is a fun game. It is a fun game. Yeah.
Except there's an achievement that you do not want to achieve because when people see it on your list, like,
it's an embarrassing achievement if you have it.
I got it.
But it's of course you do. But it's a highly underrated game. Go play it. Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. I think it's on. Good game. Worth a try. Anything else you guys want to add on this?
I'm waving the white flag.
If I play the PlayStation theme, are we gonna get copyrighted?
Yes.
Probably. But I'm not monetized, so go right ahead. That was GameCube.
No, see?
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have that problem with your PlayStation after it got old where it would get to that orange screen and then you just sit there and go load up, and then it would load up the game or something like that? It would go to the menu. You're like, crap, and you do it again. Like, okay, I'm alone on that one.
Yeah, you're alone on that one, buddy.
I've always been able to take care of my stuff, so like I never really had.
It shows like
works.
Oh yeah, so does mine. It's a little yellow now, but discolorization. But anyway, on that note, guys, where Caps
I'm here.
No, he went to get things quick. End the video.
He's gonna. There it is. The OG.
Open it. I want to see what game's inside. It's a porn. Open it.
It's a porn. And then the PS2 console.
There you go. Can you see it?
No. Still wrestling.
No, which one is it?
Can you guys? No, I can't see it.
No. Just take it out. Just take it out. What is it?
There you go. I don't know why it's in there, but
it's a THQ game. Guitar Hero. WCW
Nitro, yeah.
I don't know why it's in there, but
why? Because it's a good game. Play it.
Well, because I just don't know. I don't even remember the last time I played it.
This is a good little ad for the Fatal 4-Way that we're ever going to do.
Cut the black.
Attitude Era.
Well, I'm up for it. Anytime the restrictions are lifted, so.
For the actual match.
We're actually going to do a Fatal 4-Way.
Well, I need to know, are pants optional?
Yo, you can.
Yes.
I'll put that on YouTube. There you go, man.
I may not be the best wrestler, but as far as promos, I've got it down pat. I'm ready. You know what I mean?
But he's the manager.
Coming for you, brother. I'm coming
right now. I have a ring
now.
in my backyard, so we're ready to go.
Nice.
Not quite, but
that's it happening.
As long as pants are optional, I'll be there.
Pants are always optional. I'm not even wearing any right now, so
feel free. Wait. We had to wear pants today. I'm glad.
No, who said anything about pants?
Putty just wears two shirts, one at the top, one at the bottom.
All right.
You see there, McConaughey. On
Get
that
up
note,
right now.
guys,
Oh, sorry.
Batman Joker coming soon.
No, I was like, I was about to get up, showing. Never mind.
Woo Tang.
Just do it.
How the hell do you have a Ric Flair and a Wu-Tang
Later.
shirt?
Don't question it. Just do it later. That's awesome.
Just do it later.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's great.
No trademark infringement there. All right, guys. On that note, thanks again for joining us on this episode of Coffee and Cannoli, and we'll see you next time.